Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining this evening. My name is Olushore Adebayo, and we are so excited to have all of us here this evening. This webinar is organized by Dreamboard Initiative. Dreamboard Initiative is a not-for-profit organization that seeks to enable young people achieve their dreams, and we use education as our tool. This webinar started off, as a response to the pandemic and, creating conversations around how we can look back on 2020 and know and see that we have achieved one or two things despite the horrors of the pandemic. With me this evening, I have a friend, a mentor, a brother of mine. His name is Adebayo Ajayi, and today together we will be, driving the conversation on strategizing the pathway to success. Good evening, Adebayo Ajayi.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you for joining us this evening. How was your day? Has the pandemic been? Have you been coping with COVID-19 and, generally?
Well, my day has been good. Pandemic, so far so good. We are still moving. We are still alive. We thank God for that.
Thank God for that. I'll just quickly read Adebayo's profile before we start the conversation. Adebayo's passion in life is simple: to help you achieve all-round excellence in life using proven principles. He's an excellent personal excellence coach with practical results. He has been on this journey for more than 10 years, graduating with a distinction, Master's in Oil and Gas Engineering from the prestigious Robert Gordon University in Scotland, UK, after bagging a first-class degree in chemical engineering from Covenant University. While he was the best graduating student in the department, he has a certificate in fundamentals of management from Lagos Business School. Adebayo is your go-to person for sustainable learning. He has spoken on various platforms and has also co-authored 4 books. As a social entrepreneur, he is the team lead of Success Within International, an organization with the mandate to raise people of outstanding success for global relevance. He is an analytics supply chain professional, handling all aspects of processing and production functions, commercially astute and business focused with strong knowledge of organizational management, business analytics, Lean and Six Sigma, and project management. Nothing short of excellence is his mantra, and that's what you will encounter when you come in contact with him. He's married to his beautiful friend of many years, Kate, and has an adorable son. Thank you, Adebayo, for taking our time to join us this evening. So we have a wide mix of audience with us this evening. We have undergraduates, we have undergraduates in tertiary institutions, we have undergraduates that are not yet in tertiary institutions, and then we have people that are out of school, and then we have people that are in the school of life. So everybody here is a student in one form or another. And, COVID-19 has put a halt into our lives and has caused a dramatic change. So, how do you speak to us? What should we, what is the mindset we should have? How should we deal with this, situation right now? Because a lot of us, we don't even know where and how to find our feet.
Okay. I will just start by saying that COVID-19 was it's a pandemic that no one prepared for, and it has been in Nigeria since about March, to be precise, and this is June. The pandemic is still very much around in Nigeria. In short, I learned that we have not yet reached the peak. So the pandemic is here and it's basically growing. So I would say that you should not put your life on hold for the pandemic to be over. Because once the pandemic is over, you might be amazed. It might take months, it might take years. So you should still put your life rolling rather than waiting for the pandemic to be over, basically. It seems you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Apologies. So I'm a student, and for
Okay.
example, if I was in America or UK where I can take online classes, my life will practically not be on hold as it seems right now. So what are the things I should be doing now? How can
Okay.
I? Yeah.
Okay. Just to rephrase your question before answering that. So you are saying that now that online classes in Nigeria is currently limited. So if you are a student, what should you be doing? Is that your question?
Exactly.
All right. So now that you see that online classes are not at the level at which it should be right now. So what should you do? The first thing I need to say is that your teacher, your school is not responsible for the overall education or what happens to you at the end of the day. It's all about you. So you also need to do a lot of personal reading. If you're a student and you're at home, probably you're in university or secondary school, or we are parents right now on this call, we should not depend, because at the end of the day, in the next 2, 5, 10 years, we are not going to blame our teachers. We are not going to blame the school. We are basically responsible for our life. We are basically responsible for our children's life. So what we can do is that rather than waiting for the school to perform magic when there's no magic, because we know that online facility in Nigeria is basically not at the level at which it should be. So you can do a lot of personal studies. You have textbook to read. You have online lectures that you can do yourself. You can read yourself. That's one. Number two, another thing you can do is that you can start learning a lot of skills. There are a lot of skills and everywhere right now. People are learning all sorts of things. You can learn the skills you've been wanting to learn for a while now, that probably schools have been the one has been the one actually pulling you back because of lack of time. You have the luxury of time now. You can pick a skill to learn. Number two, you can learn a course that probably is not even alongside what you are learning in school. You can learn something on data analytics. You can learn something on IT. You can learn something. You can learn you can learn a whole lot of stuff right now. Those are You need to maximize time by developing yourself academically by doing a lot of personal study or taking online classes, which is exclusive of what your school is offering you. You can learn skills, practical and craft skills right now. You don't need to go anywhere. It's online. You just pay for a course online. You learn it, or take certification or courses right now. Those are the things you can do while waiting for this season to pass over. Yeah.
Okay, I must add that if you have any question, you can put the question in the chat room. Your questions will be attended to by us right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can learn online courses, we can do take certifications. In what exactly? These things are very broad. So
Yeah.
for me, I want to look back next year, 2 years from now, and say, oh, I picked these skills, I picked that skills, I
Yes.
did this.
Yes.
So
Okay.
how can I zero focus? Am I supposed to be focusing on things based on my academics only? Am I supposed to be focusing on life skills? Am I
Okay.
supposed to be focusing on soft skills? What are the things that, because the world is changing.
Yeah.
So
I must say that I'm impressed by that question, because if, for example, if you like Instagram, you can see that every day you see nothing less than 5 to 10 Instagram live ongoing every single time you open your Instagram. It's basically because people have seen that people can learn anything. But I must start with this. One of the best books I've ever read in life. The name is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Precisely one of the habits talks about having the end in mind. Now, you should start, and in planning, I call it bottom to top approach. So in planning, you must start with the end in mind. So look at yourself in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, short term, long term. What exactly do I want to become? What exactly do I want to do? Now, if you have a picture, so for me, I'll just use myself as an example. So for me, I want to become a management consultant, for example. Now, as a management consultant, I know that I have science background. I must understand finance background. I must understand pure management. I must understand every aspect of life. So this time around, now that I'm still working, or well, 11 weeks I've been working from home, and I'm among the lucky ones. So I've been working from home. So amidst just doing my office work and all, now the travel time of Lagos traffic 5 hours is no longer there. So what exactly am I translating my five hours into? Don't forget, like I said, I have the end in my. I want to become a consultant, and as a consultant, I need to learn about marketing. I need to learn about finance. I need to learn about things that are way beyond the scope of science. So all my learnings are embedded in that. So for example, I took a course about a month ago, once when the pandemic just started. I took a course on Coursera, marketing analytics. I want to understand the interface between marketing and data analytics. So I took a course like that, and several courses like that I've been doing. Do you get my point? So it's still tied to my overall picture. It's tied to what exactly I want to achieve in the next 5 years. So if this period you just want to do because you want to be on Instagram live because everyone is doing Instagram live, and you're not being focused, or your learnings or the skills you are getting in this period is not targeted towards something else, at the end of the day, it might be waste of time, because there's something called the power of use, which means that whatever you don't use become obsolete. So it also means that if you learn something because you think you are learning it, in the next 3 years, 6 months, 2 months, you've not used what you've learned, it becomes obsolete, because it then means that this time that you have used to acquire the knowledge that you don't intend to use, it's a waste of time. So you need to have the overall picture. What exactly do you want to do, and start from there, basically.
Amazing. Begin with the end in mind. So look at yourself in, say, 15, 20 years. What kind of life do you want to have? What kind of person do you
Absolutely.
see? And now begin to walk backwards. So is it just, okay, I want to be a medical doctor. Okay, I cannot go to class and learn the science of it, but can I pick up some soft skills along the way, that can help me be better? Can I take some courses online in medicine or engineering or psychology or whatever discipline that you have chosen for yourself? Begin with the end in mind. That is so amazing. So I want you to shed more light on that principle of use, because I feel like, we've not been actively learning, but there are some things that we have learned. So how can we call those things, call it to remembrance? I just want you to shed more light on that principle of use for some of us that are not quite familiar with that. Adebayo, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, yeah, sorry. So I was using my system, but my system got disconnected. So I'm using my phone now. I think we can continue.
Yes. Okay, so I was saying that I want you to shed more light on the principle of the law of use, as you have mentioned, because we are not actively learning now. It seems like some things are on hold now, but there are some things that we had learned in the past. So how can we even ensure that we don't let those skills go docile? How can we, actively engage them, as you have mentioned?
Okay. I like principles. So one of the principles that I've gained over time is Pareto principle. Very strategic, very simple, very straightforward. It's called 80-20 principle. It says that 20% of what you focus on gives you 80% of the results. So it means that there are certain skills you need. So if you learn all those things and you utilize them, you get the result. So rather than beating about the bush and trying to say, let me try this out, will this work? Let me try this out with this work. Let me try that, will it work? What if it doesn't work? So, but if you are sure that you know that you want to use a particular skill, you want to learn a particular thing, you want to learn machine language, you want to learn Python, you want to learn how to use Canvas, or you want to just learn stuff, and you are sure that you really want to use those things, then you can then go for short learnings. So that's what I mean by the law of use. The law of use says that whatever you don't use become obsolete, and it's even scriptural. So if you have a particular gift and you don't use it, it gets at the same level, and because it gets at the level, it gets diminished. So
basically go after the knowledge you think or you know that you use. However, there are coincidences in the sense that you can decide to learn something and you don't even know that you're going to use that in the future, and automatically you just start using it. So that is about those are for lifelong learning. So that's very important. You can also pick stuff not because you have not because you have a practical or a current need for that. But I always advise people to go for learnings they know that they require first before learning other things that might or might not be useful for them.
First things, learn the skills that you know you would require, the things that you know that, okay, will be useful in whatever field or discipline you currently are, or whatever discipline you want to go into. So learn those skills and then pick up other soft skills along the way. So if you were to, okay, so this question is two-faced. Let me ask the first one. If you were to say, I come to you now and I'm like, I need a counsel from you. And I'm telling you, okay, please, can you tell me top 5 soft skills you feel like the future is tilting towards soft skills, that I should learn right now, and, how can I learn and then begin to apply some of all these things that I pick up?
Okay. So, just to paraphrase again, your question is that what are the top five soft skills that people need to pick up right now? Is that your question?
Yes.
Top 5 skills. Okay. One of the things I've learned, at least this year will be my 5th year working in 2 multinationals. I've worked in 2 multinationals, and I've seen a lot of people advance in career, and I've seen a lot of people drop along the way. I've seen a lot of people being frustrated in career. And coincidentally, I just discovered by my wife that 85% of what accounts for career success is actually emotional intelligence. That's amazing. It means that what gets people promoted, what gets people to see senior management roles, what gets people to become top leaders in organization is actually not their competence on the job. So it's emotional intelligence. And looking back, I remember when I started my journey in Nigerian breweries as a manager, young manager, and coincidentally that was where I met you. And I got outstanding appraisers back to back. And just looking at this IG Live now, I found out that there's one of my colleagues that was in Nigerian breweries that is currently on this Zoom meeting that is currently there. Celestine, I'm saying hi to you. And I noticed that I was the youngest manager in that particular department, and I got 2 outstanding appraisers. And it was not because I have more competence than those that have spent longer on that role. It's because I was able to manage my boss. I had a very tough boss that nobody likes. So all I did was to make that boss my friend. So that takes me to the 4th skill, emotional intelligence. There is no substitute for emotional intelligence. In marriage, you need emotional intelligence. To deal with your colleagues, you need emotional intelligence. To deal with your boss at all, you need emotional intelligence. To deal with your friends randomly, you need emotional intelligence. That's the 4th skill, emotional intelligence. Number 2, IT skills. You need to always jump at the next available upgrade in IT skills. And what is reigning now is data analytics. And data analytics is not, you don't need to learn how to code. You don't need to learn how to do the Python or the Java skills. As simple as Power BI. It means I started using Power BI last year, and I found out that Power BI is so amazing that it doesn't only present, it's an interactive tool. And I learned it. I learned how to use Power BI. So that's the second point. The skill you need to learn is data analytics. Very, very, very critical. And number 3 is designing skills. You have no excuse not to. So a lot of people call it creativity. So like creativity. So creativity in the sense that it's creativity is embedded. A lot of stuff embedded in creativity, designing, innovation, organization skills, and the rest. Very critical. That's creativity. The 4th one I'm going to talk about is project management. And project management in the sense that I'm currently a project manager. I'm currently a project manager for West and Central Africa in my current organization. And I noticed that project management is basically managing process. And it's a lot easy. You rest. There's no pressure. And these are skills that organizations want individuals to possess. Because if you're a good project manager, you can manage people, you can manage projects, you can manage resources. It means you can manage everything organizations basically you can manage things holistically. So I think I will just stop at those 4 points. I won't mention 5 points because you want me to mention 5 points, but and those are the 4 points that I think I can remember right now. Yeah, thank you.
So, emotional intelligence, data analytics, project management, what's the fourth one? IT skills, data analytics, and designing. Yeah, design.
Creativity and innovation.
Yes. Yeah, coincidentally, I started taking some designing courses earlier on when COVID started. So if you need some, you can start with Canva. Canva is quite easy. Just take a 5-minute YouTube tutorial on Canva and then just keep exploring.
Just to add to that, so I currently have a social enterprise, and we did a scholarship test, and we wanted to give the winners certificate. So rather than just contracting someone to do the certificate, I designed the certificate myself. It's as easy as that. So I've saved money myself. Rather than paying someone to do it, I designed the certificate myself. So those are examples. Yeah, thank you.
So you can use Canva, you can use Photoshop. It seems complicated, but a few tutorials here and there. And I even found online that there is this scholarship going on for designing. I'll look it up and then I'll have it posted on our social media platforms for people that are interested in that. So there are a lot of freebies going on in the designing space right now. So you can hop on one of those trains, to learn designing. Emotional intelligence it transcends. It's a skill that once you have it, and it's a skill that transcends every workspace, every phase of life, every relationship that you have. So those are amazing, phenomenal. Let me go to the chat if we have any question from anyone right now. Okay. We don't have a question yet. Okay, Bio. So you have said so many things right now, and so I want to speak to emotional intelligence, because I want you to shed a few tips on what people can pick up with emotional intelligence.
Okay. Emotional intelligence is basically managing yourself and managing people. And that's a part that I feel like a lot of people don't get. When they talk about emotional intelligence, they just feel like it's all about people. Emotional intelligence, basically, it's about yourself. First of all, yourself, and about people. So, for example, emotional intelligence is not denying yourself of things that is valuable for you, because there's a lot of mental alertness, mental awareness, and the rest right now. So, and a lot of people just feel like emotional intelligence, let people just be happy. So it's about yourself. So it's about managing yourself, managing people effectively. So emotional intelligence is it's not everything you get angry at. Emotional intelligence is that sometimes when you have to say no, you try and how will I put it now? You try and take the pain, you try and take some pain to get the gain. So emotional intelligence means that because you want to get promoted, you don't need to fight with your colleagues to get forward, because you need to get your colleagues buy-in also, so that even when you become their boss, they then be able to support you. So there's a whole lot about emotional intelligence that we can't discuss all through in this meeting. But emotional intelligence is a skill that everybody needs to pursue.
Okay, so I have a question here.
Okay.
And presented it to me personally. I am a younger student. So by younger student, I mean maybe year 1 or maybe SS3. I've heard everything that has been said, but I don't really know how to start and what to do.
Okay. Let me just maybe if I give you this personal story, you would you understand what I'm saying. So if you are in SS1 or 100 level, just to confirm.
You said younger students. I'm guessing the younger class, or maybe.
Okay. So it basically seems like this COVID-19, everything is on hold. That's just like basically the scenario, because people cannot go to school, people are at home and they are forced. So people are not prepared for this time. and this is 11 weeks already on partial lockdown. It means that you should have discovered what you want to do. If you have not discovered what you want to do, it's not too late, because things will. I'm not expecting things to go back to as it used to be anytime soon. I get what I'm saying. So I'll just give a very personal example. While I was on IT, to be precise, 2012 internship, I was an IT student with Adax Petroleum, and my boss was always on the oil on the field as oil well. So I was always alone in the office. I was not doing anything in the office. I was just sitting. I was living in Yanopaja with my aunt, and the Adax was in VI. So I wake up 4:30 every morning to go to VI, and getting to work, I have nothing to do at work. I'm just sitting. So I told myself that no, I cannot just waste 6 months of IT traveling 5 hours in traffic to and fro and wasting 8 hours at work. So what did I do? I asked myself, what are the things I like doing? I said, well, while I was in university, I was not only interested in passing exams, I was interested in what to make other students pass exams. So I was interested in how to develop brain power. I was interested in how people can be the best version of themselves. So those were what I was interested in. So I said, you know what? Since I have all those abilities, I have all those thoughts, I started putting those thoughts into writing. So I go to work every morning, I'll start writing. And within 6 months, I released my first book, Mental Illumination.
Amazing.
And that was during IT, during internship. So I wrote Mental Illumination as an undergraduate student. And guess what? I made about 300,000 naira as an undergraduate student, my first 6 figures. Do you understand? Although I think so it's so that was how I was able to do something. So the problem is that I cannot tell you exactly what to do. That's why I'm telling you, you need to start with the end. What do you like doing? Your own might not even be writing books. Your own might be you want to learn how to make hair. You can learn all those things now. Your own can be that you want to learn how to code. You can learn all those things now. So that's why I said you need to start with the end in mind. What exactly do you like doing? What exactly do you like doing? And like I always say, time waits for no man. Nobody's going to wait for you. You have your life to pursue, and you have to be intentional about your life and go after what exactly you want.
Amazing. So I hope it was able to help. So you need to more or less look inward, begin with the end in mind, and then look around you. Take advantage of the opportunities and resources around you in terms of human resource. For Adebayo's example, he had time. Time was the resource around him that he took advantage of. So look inward. What are the things that really fascinate you? Then look around you. Who is the one person you can speak to that is doing something in line with what you think you like, or what you have, it might not be passion, but just an interest in. Then I have another question here. You switch careers, for example, from hardware to a design field. Will you categorize your former career as a waste?
Okay.
And what do you do when you are good with both?
Okay.
Although they are mostly unrelated.
Okay. I think after answering this question, the person asking that question will pay me, because that is exactly my scenario. Okay, so I used to work with Nigerian breweries as a production manager. So I was in charge of production. The Martina you drink, the Amstel, I was night shift, day shift, managing process, and I was the production manager basically. I was like the shift manager, then involved in production process. So, and guess what? I was getting good at appraisal. I was very, very good. In short, when there are quality issues or there are things that I need to, maybe there are issues with the process, maybe you have low pH, high alcohol, low alcohol, and everything, I could easily design and say, this is what is happening. I was really good at that, but that's what I like doing. I want to do stuff with more of my head, rather than just trying to use muscle to just follow the process. So I say, enough of production process. And because my long-term goal is to be a management consultant, so I say, let me pick up a project management role. And I have never tried my hand on project management. And I saw a role. It is basically about innovation project management for about 16 countries. You can imagine. I've never been a project manager before. And I had a role that it was only West African, which was about, I think, 13 to 14 countries I was managing. And Central Africa was added at the beginning of this year. That's about 16 countries in total. And I have never tried it. So what did I do? I picked up the role. I started reading. And I'm currently preparing for my PMP exam. So I don't even have a PMP certificate yet, but I can tell you that as a project management, I'm doing extremely well. I love production process. I love project management. And one of the things that helped me in project management is that in the project management part, there's a part on execution, which has to do more of the operations management and the rest. And that is so cheap for me because my hard skill knowledge, which is production management, I understand what production entails. So I understand the difficulties anybody can go into. So as a project management, I make excuse I make excuse and I try to simplify operational processes using my background in production operation. So no knowledge is a waste. Absolutely. Secondly, I did my master's in oil and gas engineering. I went to the best oil and gas school in Europe, Robert Gordon, to go and learn oil and gas engineering. I have never used oil and gas engineering for once. But I can tell you that it's not a waste because, like I said, I want to go a management consultant. Probably I'm going to be consulting for oil and gas company. And that's when that knowledge is going to come into play. So what you can do so that your knowledge will not be a waste is that you need to basically try to upskill yourself. How can you upskill yourself? Your previous knowledge, try to revamp yourself, try to update yourself and try to utilize it in one way or the other. With that, you can get better with your old and your new skill.
Amazing. So one, no skill is a waste, no knowledge is a waste. Your former knowledge or whatever you think you're not exactly interested in anymore is not a waste. You need to also upgrade your knowledge in one way or another in that regard to stay relevant, and also find a way to apply the things you have learned in your former skill in whatever you have interest in now. There'll be a way that it will come in one way or another. Okay, yes. I have another question here. I'm currently using my uncle's phone because I am in my uncle's house. I cannot necessarily afford online classes.
Okay.
What advice do you have for me?
Okay. You are currently in your uncle's house and you cannot afford online classes. Yeah, well, that's the situation.
When this person gets back home,
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe doesn't have.
So yeah. That is, I understand the situation. I'm going to give a very practical answer. What are the hard copy books you have with you? What are the hard copies books you have with you? So what I mean, both academics and capacity building books. Do you have opportunity to TV? What kind of channel are you watching? So there is knowledge around you. There is knowledge around you. So what hard copy books do you have with you? Both academics and capacity building books. What station are you watching? If there's DSTV, there's a whole lot of stuff, not only movies that are on there that I can learn from. So I won't tell you to go and buy a phone because I feel like for you to use your uncle's phone, you probably cannot afford a phone for now. So start with what you have. There is nothing wrong with starting small, but there's absolutely everything wrong with staying small. Yeah.
So there is nothing wrong with starting small, but there is everything wrong with choosing to stay small. And every resource you need for this time of your life is around you. It's around you. Look around you. Look at what books do you have. It might not even be your own book. Can you take a stroll to your friend's house who has the book? Take permission from your parents.
And wear nose mask.
And wear your nose mask, yeah. And go and borrow a book. And
yeah.
There's someone is asking,
okay.
How did you get your job role considering you were making a career switch?
Okay. How did I get my job role? Okay, I'll tell you. Want to hear the story? Good. So let me just give you. So I used to be a shift manager or production manager in Nigerian breweries, and I worked in Nigerian breweries for 3.5 years. There, about 3 years, 4 months to be precise. And I just saw a role So I was always telling my wife that I want to leave production. I want stuff like with consulting roles or project management roles. So I saw an advert with British American Tobacco. They were looking for a project manager with experience, with about 3 years experience, and they wanted somebody that had experience in project management and the rest, and that can just come in and start work as they call it experienced professional hire. So guess what I did? I asked myself, okay, while in Nigerian Breed as a production manager, I was not a project manager, but I've handled a lot of projects. There were times that I've handled eating up. When I mean eating up, I've handled I've done cost saving projects. Like one of the things about Montina about don't let me tell you about all those technical stuff. I've handled cost saving projects. I've handled thermal consumption projects. I've handled new product innovation projects, like some of you that like Star Radler. I was one of the set of people that started Radler, Climax energy drink. So I did projects. What did I do? I entered that interview hall basically like a project production manager. So, and what I did was that I did project management in my master's degree. It was one of part of the courses I did. So I read a lot of stuff about project management. I read all those phases in the initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, and closing phase. I read practical things about what can go on in a project. I read theoretical part of what project management entails. Then I made up my mind to package all I've done in terms of project. So when I entered that interview hall, they said, have you handled the project before? I said, yes. Why? And I gave practical examples of the kind of project I've handled. And so I basically painted my previous experience as a project, and I sold it to them, and they saw that. I remember one of the things the interviewer said was that it seems you have a lot of hands-on experience, but we want somebody that can manage people and that can manage process. And I told him, I said, about 40 people were reporting to me. So I don't think managing a team of stakeholders is a problem for me. So a lot of times people go for interview as trial and error. Make up your mind, gather your momentum, gather power, do a lot of background reading, I remember one of the questions that was asked me was that, can I manage 2 projects at a time? And while studying for this role, one of the things I saw was that about 60% of the projects that people go through. 60% of projects run concurrently. That is, no project runs one at a time. And I was able to say that because I saw that in a book while preparing for the interview. So when I told them, they were amazed. I said, yes. And I said, because then they're not asking about sometimes about budget, script, scope, creep. I have never utilized all those terminologies before, but I read them in a book and I tried to relate to my previous experience. So all you need to do is that you need to prepare. And one of my best quote by Henry Ford, when preparation meets opportunity, success is always inevitable. So you need to prepare. When the opportunity comes, success becomes inevitable. Absolutely. So what exactly the role you are looking up to getting into, the kind of roles you want to get in the next 6 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years, how prepared are you now? Like I said, I want to become a management consultant. I'm doing already in the next 5 years. That's my 5 years plan. I'm doing all it takes already to get to my 5-year dream. So I'm not going to wait until it's 5 years' time to start doing all those stuff. I'm already preparing. So when you hear that I'm a senior partner one day or a partner in McKinsey or BCG, it is not coincidence. It's because I'm already getting prepared for it now. Because when preparation means opportunities, success is always inevitable. So that's the secret to that question.
Amazing. Preparation, setting yourself up for success. I mean, like that was all that was just booming to my ear as you were speaking. You need to intentionally set yourself up. And then one thing that stood out from the things you said is don't box yourself up. You know, you could have as well said, I don't have project management experience. Yeah, I want this job role. I don't have project management experience. It's not for me. It's for people that have done project management. You know, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Prepare like Adebayo said. You know, you have the experiences. You just need to look inward and, like you said, package your experience as a product they will buy or they are interested in buying, and then you find out that you will become the person that they are looking for when you when you do that. That is, phenomenal. Set yourself up for success. So I have a question here.
Okay.
Asking, please, can you tell us how you have maximized this COVID period?
Okay.
Personally, how has Adebayo maximized this COVID period?
COVID period. Okay. So I never enter a year coincidentally. So I had planned this year already. So when I was December, fourth quarter, I used the fourth quarter of every year to plan for 2020. For those that attend I'm sorry, evening breakfast meeting, I taught a lot of stuff about how to plan, practical top to bottom approach of planning. And so what I did was nothing new at all this year. So this COVID period, what I wanted to, so part of my plans I need to do in Q2, Q3, Q4, I pushed everything forward. So like I had longer time now to myself. Like I said, I've been working from home for 11 weeks on my bed to be precise, because I don't like using table and chair to work. I work on my bed, just slash back so I have a lot of time. No more 5 hours in traffic from Ikeja to VI to Koi every day. I'm no longer doing that. So what am I doing? All my Q3, in short, my Q2 plan, which is meant to end in June, I've finished executing them. So what I did was that all my plans that I planned this year, I pushed them forward. For example, I'm meant to write a book by Q4 of this, write the book Q3 and release the book Q4 of this year. I already started it in Q2 already. And by the end of Q3, the book is going to be out. So one of the things I plan to write my PMP exam in Q3. So my PMP exam, like I said, I'm already studying for it. So all I'm doing is I'm still following the plans I've made, but moving them forward. And why am I doing that? So that in Q3, I can start 2021 plan already. And I can even start executing some of them. So the challenge is, the reason why a lot of people are struggling to do something meaningful this COVID-19 is because they don't even have plans actually. They don't have plans already. So you should not, so like I always say, is that your environment can influence you, because there are certain things we cannot all get because we are Nigerians and we are in Nigeria. It's a bitter truth, because automatically your environment puts a limit on you. However, your environment should not make decisions for you. So if you're allowing COVID-19 to make decisions for you, it's a problem already. So I'm not doing anything exceptional. All I'm doing is I'm moving my plans. My plans are what I'm meant to execute in 2020. I'm executing them at a faster rate already because I have more time for myself. So what I want to say is that because the last time this pandemic happened, something close to this was 1918. That's almost a century or more than a century. So it means that you cannot predict the future. The only thing is that you can predict your situation by planning. So what I've done, what I've done this year is that I've taken course of marketing analytics. I've gotten my certificate already. I'm writing books. My organization with Success with International, I'm previously a team leader of a social enterprise. We have added to our plans. We, for example, there's something called we do breakfast meeting. We meant to do once in a month. We are doing it twice in a month. We just finished a scholarship program. The scholarship program was not planned for this year. We plan to have a school acquisition program for secondary school students around August during summer holidays. So I'll say, well, because of COVID-19 situation, it's not possible for us to gather people again this year. So we just thought about it. Let's do scholarship program and give people scholarship. We have executed that already. It's gone. So a quarter 3 plan has been fully executed in quarter 2. So it's just planning. So you need to always plan your year. When you plan your year and this COVID-19 happens to you, then you know that it's very easy to just execute those plans. So because if I tell you how to maximize COVID-19 and COVID-19 doesn't occur again, it means that you're not be able to apply the principle I'm telling you. But the principle of planning, it's a life goal principle. So just plan. That's all. Just plan.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Plan. Can you please give us a few planning tips?
Okay.
A few planning tips.
Okay, so there's a planning tip, just one method, and it's called top to bottom approach. So I'll give you very practical. It has the overall aim, it has the objectives, and it has the strategy. So there are 3 legs to the top to bottom approach. So I will explain that. Let's just give you the methodology. So we have the top to bottom approach. That's the name of the planning tip. Now there are 3 steps under it. You have the aim, you have the objectives, then you have the strategies. So this is what I mean. For example, if your plan, one of your financial plan is to save 3 million naira in 2020, that is your aim, right? That is your aim. You will pick it. That is your aim. Now you have picked it. Number 2, the second methodology there is, what are the objectives to achieve that aim? Number 1, I need the 3 million naira because I want to buy a car. I want to go on vacation. I want to have emergency fund account. I'm preparing for my wedding. Those are the objectives. So because this is the reason, whatever you don't back up with why, just like Masmiro said, if the purpose of material is not known, abuse is inevitable. Because the reason why you want to achieve that overall aim, which is to save 3 million naira, is because of the objectives. So when you look at the objectives, my wedding is in 2 years' time, I need to plan, I need to save vigorously. Do you understand my point? So that is what the objective will do for you. Objective will make your aim to be what will not make you sleep at night. Now, after you define your objective for why you need to achieve that aim, the third step is the strategies. So how exactly do I need to achieve that 3 million naira? Number 1, I need to start saving 40% of my monthly income. Number 2, I need to eat out only once a month or once a quarter. Number 3, I need to cut down on my ice cream intake. Number 4, I need to forgo vacation from 3 times in a year to once in a year. That is it. You see what I've taught you now? I've taught you practical steps to planning. You know the overall aim. You have the objective, why you are actually getting that aim, and the strategies to ensure that you achieve that aim. Practical top to bottom approach for planning. I've been using it for about 4 years now, and it has always been effective for me.
Amazing. So if you didn't take anything out of this webinar, please ensure you take the top to bottom approach of planning. Find your overall aim, your objective, and then your strategies. Your aim is the overall goal. Your objective is your why. You need to find your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to do what you're doing? And then what are the strategies? What are the things that will help you achieve all those things? Phenomenal. Thank you so much, Adebayo. I have another question here.
Okay.
On mentorship. So the person is saying, you seem to have a vast knowledge of, tell us about mentorship. Do you have mentors? What role have they played in your success and all of that?
And I call mentorship lifelong wire, because I feel like if you want to get into 10 years in 3 years, mentorship is that ladder to climb. And let me just tell you a little bit of my academic success. While I was in 100 level, I went to Governance University, and my first semester, when the result came out, the first semester result, I had 4.99 out of 5 points. And I had just 1 B in a 1-unit course. So that was at 4.99. Yes, let me shine. And what I did was, we were about 60 in the department, and I noticed that about 10 of us had above 4.5. Are you getting my point? Yeah. About 10 of us had above 4.5. That's first class, that's semester. Do you know what I did? I wrote down all those that had first class matric number. Do you know why I did that? Because then there was no name when they pasted the result. It was just matric number. I traced it to the class attendance to write everybody's name, to know those that had first class. Do you know the reason? Because I wanted to know, for you to be on the first class, don't forget I was the highest. For you to be on the first class, there is something you know differently. Now, I wrote everybody's name down. Now, and I went to meet them. All of them, my name is Adebayo Ajayi. I just want to say that you're on the first class. I know you're on the first class. I just want to say that I would like to be your friend. That's all I did. Second semester, they dropped from 10 to 7. Those that dropped, I ticked their name. The 7, I went to meet them. 12 level first semester, they dropped to 4. I ticked those 4. Now, 12 level second semester, we dropped to 3. I ticked those people's name. And now there was somebody, he was always constant. His name is Kenny Amo. On that, I know I was still the best student per semester in the class. But there was somebody, Kenny Amo, the guy's brain power he can read in 5 minutes and get about 10 pages. All I needed to do was, he became my reading partner. And till date, he's currently doing PhD University of Lagos. I call him my mentor. Now, I positioned myself with Kenny that I read with him. Don't forget, I was the best student in the class. But most of those success, most of those things that I don't understand when I'm reading, Kenny explained those things to me. And guess what? When we graduated, we were only 2 that graduated with first class in that department, myself and Kenny Amo. I finished as the best student with 4.83. Kenny finished with 4.54. he was the second. See the difference? Whereas I know that one of the reasons why my job was high because I leveraged on Kenny's strength. That's one. Number two, when I was in the level, I did chemical engineering coming out to university. I wrote down all the best students' name from 200 level and above in chemical engineering. I went to meet them. There was a particular guy, Victor Emeneke. The guy was in 200 level then. I went to meet him. I said, I noticed that people call you professor. It's because you understand the basis of chemical engineering. Can you explain it to me? And I remember when the guy was graduating, he was 500 level, I was in 300 level when he was graduating. He prayed for me. He said, whatever gave me academic ease, I impact you. He said, and he gave me all his lecture notes. I was at 300 level. He gave me his 400 level and his 700 level lecture notes. He said, I was going to pass this thing to 400 level students, but I'm passing it over to you because you have desired it and you have pursued it for 3 years consistently. That is academic excellence. Now, I had other mentors that were not even in my department. Osai Michael, Solomon Labuya. And Solomon Labuya is my life mentor till date. I don't joke with him. In short, when I went for my master's, I was asking those that have gone for masters to help me. It's so, both in marriage, I have mentors. In my career, I have mentors. So I don't joke with it because I believe that someone has gone ahead of me. Why don't I pursue those things that they've done? Why do I need to struggle to get what they've gotten in 5 years? I can get it in 2 years if I know what they've done. And I have a lot of people that I'm currently mentoring, and I can say that they are excelling in whatever they are doing up to today.
One of them.
Thank you, Shori. And it's so amazing that I met you when you were a copper while I was a manager, and the impact I have on you is still speaking to date. I have people like Success Yoshola, Fumito, Thomas Makiwa, doing great. A lot of people, like one of them is also in this meeting too, Tumi J, doing great. And the truth is that a lot of times, people in our generation are too proud. My life mentor, Solomon Elaboya, I'm older than him. Not 1 year, not 2 years. But he's my life mentor. I don't care about age. I care about what I have to get. But our generation, we don't believe in mentoring. And the last time we talk about mentoring is that, guys, you don't need to go far to get someone that is in the baby boomer generation to mentor you. You need to get somebody that is a millennial like you to mentor you, because times have changed. So they understand what you are going through. A baby boomer will tell you that no, no. Their philosophies of life are different. So you need to get somebody that is in your generation to mentor you, because those ones will give you the practical reality of the current status in life and help you navigate through the orders of life. Thank you.
Amazing. It has been explosive this evening. Thank you so much, Adebayo.
You're welcome.
So, your mentors are around you. Look for them.
Yeah.
Find them, pursue them, go after them. Make yourself friendly enough, to accommodate them. Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
We would love to take more questions, but we're running out of time and we need to be accountable for that. This webinar is recorded. We'll make it available on all our social media platforms for you to have access to that. If you have any more questions for Dreamboard, for Adebayo, you can send an email to dreamboardinitiative@gmail.com. We will definitely respond to you with the answers, and then stay tuned to our social media channels as well for, our posts and updates. Turn on your notifications for our posts and updates. We are so glad that you all came out here to be a part of this webinar. Thank you for giving us your 1 hour. Thank you for counting us worthy to have 1 hour of your time. We are grateful. Thank you, Adebayo Ajayi, for impacting.
Thank you so much.
If you had gone to pay for this, we would have paid a fortune to get all of this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.